Okay, so let's go on to our second segment of this episode, which is India versus South Africa T20 series predictions. So we're going to look at the India and South Africa squad, look at some of the form that these players are in, and any surprise inclusions or exclusions, and then we're going to predict the result of the five T20 series. It starts on Thursday, the 7th of June, so it's pretty soon. So let's start with India. The squad. Let me read out the squad. So KL Rahul is captain. I think they're resting Rohit Sharma. Gaikwad, Ishan Kishan, Deepak Hooda, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant as vice captain and wicketkeeper. Dinesh Karthik also wicketkeeper. Hardik Pandya, Venkatesh Iyer, Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav, Axar Patel, Ravi Bishnoi, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Harshak Patel, Avesh Khan, Arshdeep Singh, and Umran Malik. So, Zaid, initially looking at the squads, any surprise inclusions or exclusions?
I'm interested to see Arshdeep Singh and Umran Malik play. So that'd be very interesting. You know, we talked about Umran Malik a lot in our recent episodes, and we talked about his pace. So that was very interesting. We also, we talked a bit about Arshdeep Singh as well. Very excellent left armer, comes in at a pretty interesting angle in his run up. So an excellent bowler. He's got excellent change ups as well. So I'm really excited to see those two fast bowlers bowl. But apart from that, also Dinesh Karthik. He's back into the side after a few years now. So he had an excellent time in the IPL. Excellent run. He excellent for us to be finishing off games. So that'd be also very interesting to see how he bats against South Africa. So I'm very excited with this India team.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I'm thinking with the IPL, which is really good for Indian cricket, is that it gives a platform for any future talent to show themselves, because they'll get picked up straight away by some team, and then if they do really well in there, they can easily get fast tracked into the Indian national team. But to be fair, I think that I wouldn't have included Imran Malik in my squad. Yeah, he's taken 20 wickets, but I would have really given him. I'm not really convinced with this run rate, because he's bowling so fast. He's not got enough control over it. And with a team like India, who are looking to control innings, to get teams all out in T20s, to get them, restrict them to under 130, 120, so they can chase it down rapidly. I just think that Umran Malik doesn't really fit into that bill. He doesn't fit into like a bowler who can control it. Whereas if you've got someone like Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who can, who may not take, who's like nowhere near as fast as Umran Malik, but can go like economy of like 6 and under, I think he's probably a better pick, I think. But yeah, that's something. Arshdeep Singh, you mentioned, left armer. It's good to get that variety in the Indian team. You don't have any left arm pace bowlers, like a significant left arm pace bowler. So I think that's nice to have. Leg spinners. There are 3 leg spinners: Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav, and Ravi Bishnoi, as well as off spinner Axar Patel. You've got 3 leg spinners. Who do you think is going to actually get picked for the first T20 out of those 3? Because that shows a lot of competition in that department, and there's a lot of good Indian bowlers in that department.
Well, I definitely think Chahal is going to play, because he had a pretty good time in the IPL. He obviously got the most wickets. I think he did go for quite a few runs, but I don't think that's a huge problem if he's taking loads of wickets. So I think he'll definitely play. And then obviously I don't think all these spinners can play, definitely, obviously. But I think I don't. It might. For me, I don't think Bishnoi really will play. I don't think he didn't have the amazing time in the IPL. He did well, but obviously I don't think he's good enough to play. Also, 2 leg spinners will be difficult. If you're going with 2 spinners, then I'd probably go with Chahal and Akshar Patel, who can bat as well, which is always very useful to have someone, an all-rounder, who can bat a bit and he bowls some good off spin. So I think Chahal should definitely play, but I don't think we can go. You could even go with Kuldeep Yadav, because he's a left arm leg spinner, so he turns it in. So that would be an option as well. So for me, it would either be Chahal on his own, or Chahal and Kuldeep, or Chahal and Akshar Patel.
Yeah, so I actually would disagree, to be fair. I think that I put Bishnoi and Axar Patel. Yeah, he didn't have the best IPL, but if you look at the T20s prior to IPL, the India team were giving him a lot of opportunities because they saw something in him, and you've got to give him. He had a few T20s. You've got to give him a run in the team for him to cement his position. I think he's done well enough to be there. Obviously, there's going to be huge competition from Chahal, so I'd put Bishnoi for the first T20. See how he does, and if he doesn't do as decently, he gets slogged a bit, I'd put in Chahal. But I agree with the Kuldeep Yadav left arm spinner. He'd be turning it into the right hander. Honestly, in a T20, I think he'd probably want a bowlers who turn it away from the batsman. Like if you look at Liam Livingston, he can, he can bowl both off spin and leg spin depending on the batsman. If they're right arm, he makes it. He'll turn it away to both batsmen, so right arm or left arm. So I think if you look at South Africa's squad, we'll talk about them in a second. But Quinton de Kock, left-hander. David Miller, I think, is a left-hander. I think who else? Heinrich Klaassen, I think, might be a left-hander. I think they've got some. I don't know. I think they do have some left-handers, but it depends on who they pick on the side. But if they have a few left-handers, especially in top order, I would pick someone who spins it away from the left-hander. So yeah, that's something else to consider. So Kuldeep could be in the shoot. I think any of these three spin leg spinners could play realistically. But Axar Patel, yeah, with just because while he can bat and two because he's an off spinner and he's the only, apart from Deepak Huda, he's the only real like off spinner here. So he could be in the team. But then to be fair, if Deepak Huda can do the off spinning role and bats up higher and he's a better batsman than Axar Patel, maybe Deepak Huda makes the squad and Axar Patel doesn't. That could be another possibility. Yeah, so Zaid, do you want to tell us the South Africa squad?
Yeah, so we've got Temba Bavuma as captain, Quinton de Kock, Reza Hendricks, Heinrich Klaassen, Keshav Maharaj, Aidan Markram, David Miller, Lungi Ngidi, Anrik Nokia, Wayne Parnell, Dwayne Pretorius, Kagiso Rabada, Tabré Shamsi, Tristan Stubbs, Rassi van der Dusen, and Marco Jansen.
Cool. So, any surprises in that squad? Because in the India squad, most of these players either played in IPL or played international already. In South Africa, any in their squad, do you think any surprises for you?
Well, I haven't really heard of Tristan Stubbs. I'm not really sure what he does if he bats the balls, but that'd be interesting to see if he plays, and I really want to see what he does. That'd be interesting. Apart from that, I have heard of everyone else really. David Miller would be very exciting to watch because he's been really good at finishing off games for Gujarat Titans, the IPL. So that'd be really interesting to see. Also, Marco Jansen, his bowling, his left arm, like after you saying he was, they both go left arm. But Marco Jansen's more your opening bowler sort of guy. So I think I'm really excited to see Marco Jansen play because he had an excellent time in the IPL. He was really economical. He was making batsmen struggle. So those for me would be the interesting players to watch out for.
Yeah, I think Tristan Stubbs is a batsman, and he actually did play for the Mumbai Indians this season where he was in the squad. I don't think he played any matches, but he was there in the squad, so that's a valuable learning experience. He's only like 21, so a very young player as well, and I think that's very good for the South Africa team. For me, Temba Bavuma as captain is just immediately I'm not convinced because I agree why he's a test captain because he's a good test batsman pretty much, but I don't understand why he's a T20. Have you seen him score a lot of significant runs in T20 cricket recently, Zaid?
Yeah, so Temba Bavuma, he's obviously captain of South Africa. So I think it's been interesting. I think it's been a while. Yeah, I don't think I've seen him score a big anything huge in a while. So I think he'll really want to get off the blocks quickly. Maybe get some runs. Maybe get for 50 if he can. I think he really needed runs. I think South Africa. I don't think they've had a T20 in a while either. So I think after the T20 World Cup, they haven't played too much cricket. So as a team, so that'll be interesting to see how they Temperament captains them now. So I haven't seen him score anything big, so he'll probably want some runs. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I just think that as a captain, you need to be able to, especially a captain of all three formats, you need to be able to show that you can do it in all three formats. So you've got to be able to score runs. You don't need to be scoring 50s every match, but consistently scoring runs in all three formats. So that's something that Temba Bavuma does score in test, and I think ODI, but T20 haven't really seen very much of him. If you look at South Africa's squad, they've got a lot of pace bowlers. They've got Lungi Ngidi, Nokia, Wayne Parnell, another pace bowler, Dwayne Pretorius, Kagiso Rabada, Marco Jansen. A lot of pace there, and you've got some who are like all-out fast bowlers. You've got Marco Jansen, who's a left armer, who, how would you say Marco Jansen's IPL went, Zayn? Because he took quite a few wickets, but also in one innings, I can't remember against who, he got smacked for a load of runs. So how would you say his IPL went overall?
I think overall, consider is this it might be his first IPL. I'm not sure, but I'm not considering that. But I think his IPL, I think overall was pretty good. I think for me, it was actually a very good IPL. I think a lot of the time he was bowling the power play very very economical. So he was making batsmen struggle. He's pretty tall, so he was if he hits that hard end, which he was doing a lot, it would come up to the batsman. Hit the batsman on the splice of that. So I think he had a pretty good IPL overall. He had a pretty good time with it.
Yeah, I think just a very good IPL in general, but in terms of adaptability, you might need to improve. If you're bowling that hard length and they're charging down the pitch and slogging you, what are you going to do next? Are you going to go to your Yorker? Are you going to go to a slow ball? Or are you just going to pitch up a little bit? Or are you going to, try and if you see them charging again, pitch it a bit wider, get them out somehow. I think it's just that adaptability that might need to be looked at. But apart from that, I think South Africa have got a really good bowling lineup. They've got really, really world-class bowlers. Batting wise, pretty good, but there's not going to be too much freedom in terms of batting because you've got a consistent order. You got Quinton de Kock's going to be in the team, Henrik Klaassen, Keshav Maharaj probably, Aidan Markram as well, David Miller. So you've got a rough batting order starting to form. So if we look at actual predictions now, five match T20 series, what do you think the end scoreline is going to be after all five finish, Zaid, and why?
I think looking at these squads, for me, India looking much stronger. I just think because South Africa, you mentioned they have a lot of pace bowlers, but that's all they've got really. They've got Maharaj as I think that's his only spinner really, and he obviously played. But I think India. For me, if I make a prediction, 5 matches, I'm gonna go with 4-1 to India. I think India are probably looking pretty strong going into this series. Lots of players had decent times in the IPL, and South Africa, don't think many of them play in the IPL. So I think looking at the squads, I would go 4-1 to India.
Mm. A key player also missing in the India squad. I was just thinking about it. I don't see any Virat Kohli there. Virat Sharma I know has been rested. I think Virat Kohli's been rested as well, but it's still someone who needs form. I would put him in the South Africa series. He could get some runs. I think it'll be a bit closer actually. I think it'll be 3-2 to India. I do agree that India is the stronger team, but we made these predictions when we were West Indies England series. We predicted England to pretty much steamroll them 4-1. I was like, in the end, West Indies won 3-2, was it, or 4-1? One of the two. West Indies won the series. So I just want to go on the cautious side this time and be realistic because South Africa two T20s is not that hard to win. And if India's batting for me, I don't know. I'm not too convinced about it. I think it's just a lot of young players as well. And I think that South Africa can, if they bowl well, they can go straight through them. So I think 3-2 to India is probably fair. Still India winning, but a bit closer margins. But yeah, that's it for this second segment and the entire episode. As usual, if you enjoyed this episode, please do like, subscribe, and share with anyone else you know who loves cricket. But yeah, thank you, Zaid, for recording, and see you in the next one.